Test, 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 test. Hi all and welcome to another edition of Midday Market Review Live Trading Key Trading Levels and Trading Setups for Popular Markets. My name is Phil and I'll be your presenter today. So let me just check that this is all streaming okay. For those of you who haven't seen me before, if you're looking for the community, you can check out TraderCast. If you're looking for the education, potentially you could let me just see, is this streaming? It should. You should check out My Trading Skills. My Trading Skills is where you'll find some of my training courses. Some of them are completely free. You can simply register and
German Economy Ministry says they're monitoring the situation with Nord Stream 1, says the security of supply is guaranteed at the moment.
You can see the way we teach, and then if you need help with anything else, feel free, let me know. No, home. Why is it not showing here? Which is a bit strange. Never mind. A little bit about me. If you haven't, what did I do?
White House says the US is in a good place to fight inflation.
Sorry guys. A little bit about me. Over the past 10 years I had the privilege of speaking in front of various different industry events, and I taught many people how to trade. So now this brings me to a disclaimer. Anything I say here should not be considered to be advice. These are my experiences and opinions only. Since I'll be talking about some live trades, this is a practical application of what we teach in some of our courses, and what I firmly believe a novice trader should be able to do. So that's where I am.
The White House says the administration is watching inflation closely.
So I just got out of that. Sorry, there should be brackets here. So I just had so this is a losing position. I just had that. Okay, so that's where I am at the moment. So I'm long WTI crude from 11836. I'll show you that in a minute. And I just had a cheeky long on gold. It was supposed to be a scalp with a breakout in 5 minutes, but it didn't work out. It reversed, and now I'm kind of thinking of what to do next. So let me just show you where I am with that trade. So for those of you who watched yesterday's session, we talked about crude oil. And I was looking for a pullback to the trend line, which is this zone down here. That would be the ideal entry. If you remember, I was looking for a pullback and then a bounce. And yet again, this is a slightly different price to what my broker is giving me, because you have different price for futures and different price for different months. But when I saw the breakout which happened here, and especially
player refreshing
in an hourly time frame, so
the White House says they are discussing some irresponsible tariffs that were imposed by former President Trump.
Initial breakout, false retracement, and then a push higher. So when this actually happened, in this continuation pattern, I've decided to go long, and I'm happy with that trade. So let me just show you where I am with this trade at the moment. The resistance on the upside, obviously we have a cluster of these highs towards 120. Where are we now? This chart is showing it at 122. On my chart that would be at 120.80, almost 121. And then a breakout above that level could possibly open the way for the push towards 126, 127, or maybe even higher. So I'm really happy with this, keeping this open for now, and I'll show you where I am with that trade and how I'm going to manage this trade. And then we can go and talk about top 5 things we should know before we start trading today. We can go and look at some currencies. We can go and look at some indices as well. And sorry guys, I don't know what's going on with my mouse. It's not working for me. So here we go. Open in a new window. Come on, gold. So here we go. This is the 15-minute chart of the of that entry. This
ABN AMRO, the bank, have just changed their rates on deposits above 100,000 euros.
The initial stop, I'm going to readjust it now. I'm going to make it at break even. I'm going to put my stop at break even. I'm looking at this swing high. I would love to see if this 15-minute candle finishes above this swing high, and if it does, then that would encourage me to keep this position open towards these higher prices. This could be an indication of possible partial profit taking as well. I'll see how this candle finishes before I do anything, but that's where I am at the moment. I don't have there is always an element of risk, but currently with this position my risk is very, very minimal. If the price starts reversing, I will likely close this trade manually. I wouldn't wait for the price to go all the way down and pick me up with nothing, because it's a decent position. But that's where I am. So the 15-minute candle just finished. Let's see what happens here. It might be an opportunity for a partial profit taking. It might be opportunity for a partial profit taking. But that's where I am with crude oil at the moment. That's where I'm with the crude oil at the moment. Now let me just try this again. For some reason okay, that's fine. But that's where I am with hi all. Now, the other thing that could be of interest to us is from the economic data releases. Everybody's talking about Fed tomorrow. So The indications are that we could possibly see a 75 basis point hike, which is causing US dollar to strengthen. So a clear indication on euro dollar, sterling dollar, dollar yen into resistance here, sterling dollar under pressure, previous support, now resistance, euro dollar same, previous support, now resistance. It does appear to be fairly one-sided trade. You can also see it in dollar cards. Dollar card is moving higher. All the currency crosses are showing the same or similar setup there as well. Now, US briefing for today. Fed, here we go. Fed likely to consider 0.75 percentage point rate rise this week, according to Wall Street Journal. JP Morgan economists now see the Fed hiking
regarding
75
travel.
basis
Canada
points.
has to suspend COVID vaccination requirement for domestic travellers and civil servants, according to a government source.
Apologies. European Central Bank not options for September are not limited to 50 basis points, and because he said that, look what happened to euro sterling. Boom. Bank of England, you better do something quick, otherwise euro sterling rate is going to go higher. German investor pessimism eases on hopes economy won't worsen, according to this report. UK jobless rates edges up as people return to a labour market. Reserve Bank of Australia Governor Lowe, unclear how high interest rates will go in Australia. Bank of Japan buys record amount of bonds for a fixed rate operation. US dollar pauses near 20-year high after historic bond rout. European stock stable after inflation-driven rout. US futures edge up barely, but they are creating an oversold bounce back. And that's where we are with pre-US Open brief. Apart from that, top 5 things we should know before we start trading again. There is a little relief for stocks. We are waiting on the Fed, and there is trouble in the UK, according to Bloomberg report now. Some relief, little rally. While the rapid selling off the past few sessions is not on display in markets this morning, there is not much sign, I suppose there isn't much sign, of a turnaround Tuesday. There is something that's called turnaround Tuesday. It's often referred to by day traders that if you have a few days of selling. So basically, if the equity markets close on Friday at the low of the day, then normally or historically Mondays are bearish days as well. And then what happens is Tuesday is creating an oversold bounce back. So that's why they call it a turnaround Tuesday. And I suppose lots of people missed Friday sell-off. They jump in on Monday and they're hoping for more downside. They have their stops at the appropriate place, and then those stops get triggered and you create a short squeeze, or short squeeze is triggered and basically the price pushes high on a falling volume. So that's basically the basic premise. But so far it didn't happen just yet. It might. Early days. We still have about 9 minutes to US markets opening. Indices entered a bear market territory yesterday, dropping more than 20% from highs. S&P 500 futures are pointing to relatively small push higher at the open. An early session rally in bonds seems to be already running out of steam. Oil extend gains towards $122 a barrel. The volatility across assets has been driven by Friday's inflation print and expectations of more robust response from the Federal Reserve tomorrow, according to Bloomberg. Fed fever. Traders in the bond markets are fully prepared for the Federal Reserve to hike its benchmark rate by 75 basis points on Wednesday. Chairman Jerome Powell had vowed to increase the Fed funds rate by 50 basis points this month. A report in the Wall Street Journal suggests that policymakers were considering a bigger move after inflation accelerated in May. This is what we talked about earlier. Meanwhile, JP Morgan Chase said there was a non-trivial risk of 100 basis points increase. Wow, if that happens, US dollar would really spike higher, really spike higher. So where am I now? This is Dow Jones, and Dow Jones is possibly looking for a little spike at the open. So let's see how this works out. Hi all. If you have any questions, feel free and ask. If you need something covered, ask. Feel free to ask. Let me see who is in the community. Ooh, quite a few people are in. Enrique, Jeremy, Zhao, FX, Gonzalez, Patrick, Robert, Tempus, Alfie, Anas, Bruno, Davy, Lee, Muhammad, Murat, Mudassir, Nakuri, Piero, Valencia, Benny. Yeah, few people are coming in. Patrick, good to see. Tim, good to see you again. Mike as well. Good to see you again, guys. If you have any questions, feel free and ask. Now, what I'll try and do is I'll dip in and out of different communities just to make sure that everything is working fine. Now, so let me just see what's going on with Dow Jones at the moment, and then we can go and check out a few other markets. We have 6 minutes to US markets opening. From the daily time frame point of view, severe selling pressure. This is a significant support at 30,600 on Dow. This is the weekly chart. We have clusters of the lows, clusters of the lows, clusters of the significant weekly low, I suppose. And this is the daily chart. So if the turnaround Tuesday is to happen, this is a good reason for it to happen. Now, how can this possibly play out? Well, this is the point of control area, and what I mean by point of control is the area at which wow, nat gas prices are really setting off, where bulls and bears are kind of neutral. This is the front line. If we see a rally higher above that point of control, then that could potentially trigger a spike into this zone up here. So what I mean by that, an oversold bounce back rally in here, most of the traders are looking to short sell there, or they would be looking to short sell the low, quite likely. That's also very possible. If we see a rally and a breakout above here, so something like this, that could possibly trigger a little corrective pullback, and then another leg higher into this zone up here, and then that zone will be triggered by falling resistance trend line. Okay, so 31,700, 32,000, and I would also take the multiple fibs from swing high to swing low, so 50 and 61.8 fib retracement, and then from this swing high, apologies, didn't mean to move that trend line, I have 38% fib. So we have clusters of fibs We have falling resistance trend line. You have previous swing lows and swing highs. I've purposely did not put any moving averages or any indicators, because what I was saying to you is what I'm doing here is what I think a novice trader should be able to do. This is a practical application of very simple price action, trend following, pattern recognition trading approach to financial markets. So no complicated indicators, no complicated trading setups, very, very simple approach. Few trend lines, support and resistance, and that's about it. And then confirmation by the pattern recognition, i.e. the candle itself or a price doing something. And then the timing of volatility is triggered by the economic data. And that's a very, very basic approach here. So keep an eye on it. Oversold rally for another leg lower, 31,000. I'll just write a little note here. Dow 31,250. So that would be a discipline kind of approach. A counter trend trader or the intraday type trader could be looking for a possible oversold bounce back. So a rally from here, from these current, so look, this looks like a low and low and low, almost like a triple bottom. And then this would be a neckline. So this is the hourlies. If I show you the same thing in a 15-minute time frame, this is now looking like a shoulder, head and shoulder, a possible reversal. So what intraday traders might be looking for, they might be looking for this type of pattern to play out. A breakout above the neckline, and then what they would do is they would take the distance of the head to the neckline and extend that at the breakout point, and that gives us this 31,250, which is that point of control. It's not the exact science, you know, it's a quite subjective way of looking at the potential levels of interest, but that's roughly what it's pointing to. So we have 1 minute to US markets opening. I would pay attention to this and decide what to do. I'm not front running the open. I'm paying attention to that crude oil position that I have, and if it starts reversing more, I will get out of that quickly. So just very quickly, I'll just show you where I am with that. Sorry, there we go. Crude oil is reversing. So loads of people were looking to take partial profits around here, and now we are seeing this pullback. So I'll pay attention to this. I don't want to give these unrealized gains unnecessarily on this trade. I'll keep you informed. I'll keep you informed about what I'm doing. I also had a trade in gold, and there was a. I'll just show you. I know some people are joining us late. So these are the current open positions. I'm long crude oil, and I was long gold just ahead earlier on, and I've decided it was stopped. It was a very, very tight stop. Just decided to get out. It didn't make sense anymore, so that was a losing trade. But I'll keep you informed about what I'm trying to do with gold going forward. Here we go. Hi. So it's good. If you came back for more, that means you liked what we did in the other session.
Geopolitics. French President Macron says the coming months will be difficult due to the war in Ukraine.
Okay, at the open, I'm paying attention to S&P, also paying attention to Nasdaq. But so far in this first couple of minutes of the open, there's very little that's going on. Very little. Okay, let me just talk to you about gold very quickly, and the reasons why I was paying attention to this. So gold it appears to be a bullish longer term. Sorry, I'm getting messages. So longer term appears to be bullish. There's a rising trend here. Bulls appear to be in control. This appears to be fairly corrective pullback in gold, and gold is coming to a decent level of support. Now, what I'm thinking with gold is this: if we see further volatility and global equity markets sell-off, intelligent investors or smart investors or traders, they take the money out of speculative positions and they put them in some sort of safe haven position. So in the past, normally if equity markets were selling off, gold would rally, or maybe you could say Japanese yen or Swiss franc. It kind of varies from different things. But looking at this crude oil position here, I think I should be looking to take some profits there and see what happens. But nowadays it could be that a US dollar becomes a safe haven, or it's treated as a safe haven. So from the intraday point of view, this was a really clear signal that buyers are coming in here. Then we saw this rally and then corrected pullback. So this here could possibly become a little double bottom, and it's not a clear cut because there's a big wick here, but from the fib point of view, from these lows here to these highs, this is a full 61.8 fib retracement. So how can this play out? Well, it can play out like this. So if I see a breakout higher, so I'm gonna color this blue so there is no confusion. So if I see a breakout from here and a push higher, that could possibly trigger a little retest for another move towards these swing highs at 1830. Above that, 1840, 1870, 1880, 1900, and so on. That would be a kind of a bullish breakout high. There is no trigger currently on this, but I'm paying attention to it, and I would love to find a good reason to get in again. I thought there was one here with this, but so far no joy. So far no joy. So I got stopped out on that one. I'm going to leave this running like so. So Dow Jones, really very little movement here. Crude, a 15-minute candle there. I don't really feel comfortable with this as I did earlier. So what I'm going to do is, in order to protect some profit, so look, I don't like this reversal here. I would like to see a breakout above these swing highs from 10th of June. So what I'll do is I will take partial profits here. I'll close half of my position, get out of it, and then what I'll do is I will move my stop slightly higher, locking in another 26 points. So if the price does fall while I'm talking or while I'm busy, my stop is also my take profit. But half of the money taken off the table. Let's see. If I see a breakout, I might even add to this position. I don't know. But I'm bullish crude oil, happy with it. I also have a limit order higher. So that's just in the case if we see a spike or something. If I get picked up, I'll be happy with that. I don't want to miss it. But that's where I am with crude oil. Happy with it. So that's a good decision. Okay, it's a good decision. I don't want to give all unrealized profits.
Energy news. Total Energy's CEO says
the
oil
reversal.
and gas companies are listening to policymakers is the reason we don't have enough energy right now.
I think only US dollar is holding back gold once out of the way with rates peaking, but inflation persisting, then gold takes off in validation levels as mentioned, 1785 cents. Yeah, good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thanks for sharing. I'll write them down. 85, 1700. Thanks. Now bloody crude is moving higher. Okay. The other thing that there we go, Nasdaq still selling off. Dow is waiting. S&P also pushing lower. Considering it's the first 10 minutes of the trading, I think I'm going to go and I'll put my stop. Hold on. I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm looking for a little scalp in gold again. Okay, so let me just show you what I've done. I've decided to go long gold again. It's a cheeky one based on these two candles here. I could be completely wrong and I could be stopped out very quickly, but I think we could see an attempted push through here, breakout retest, and then maybe a move higher. I'll show you where I am with that straight away. I could be completely wrong, but let's see. If I'm wrong, I'll be proven wrong quickly. I don't know if you can see it or not. So this is where I am. This is where my stop is, just below the wick of this previous bullish candle. I'm currently in this trade. It's a losing trade. It's about 27 euros down, 30 euros in red. Let's see. I think we could possibly see at least a few candles attempted to break out, and that'll be good enough for me. I would be happy with, you know, a candle and a half up higher. I'll be very happy with that. Take partial profits, move the stop closer to the entry or at entry, and see if I can let it run. If not, then I'll get out. But that's where I am with gold. At the moment. US equities, Nasdaq not looking good. S&P also not looking good. So this is Nasdaq, this is Dow Jones, this is S&P. Hey Patrick, do you need anything? Tim, Robert, Eladio, anybody else, guys? Are you paying attention to anything? Are you trading anything? Is there anything of interest? Dollar yen, the pullback here, cable really weak, and euro dollar. Okay. Yeah, I think so as well. So the first 15-minute candle here. First 15-minute candle to the downside. Same with S&P. See, is there anything? OPEC is set to see halving in oil demand growth next year. Okay. So just reading some news channels to see if there is anything of interest. See if there's anything on Reuters. US producer prices increased strongly in May according to research. Wall Street opens. Fed door open to 75.75% hike after inflation data. Really nothing really new. Gold is not doing that well, but the crude is. So crude is moving slightly higher. Crude is moving slightly higher. Happy with that trade. Keeping it open. While we're waiting for the first half an hour to settle, let me see if we can talk about euro dollar very quickly. So euro dollar, this is what I was looking at yesterday. I was looking for a sell-off, oversold rally, and possibly another leg lower. All of this then becomes another version of rising wedge. I'm sorry if I keep boring people with this. I keep seeing them over and over and over and over again. This is a daily time frame. This is the prevailing trend. Euro weakness, and I was looking for sell-off, oversold rally, and then another leg lower, potentially targeting 104, 103.80. Below that, possibly even lower. So where are we now? Sell-off, rally. From the intraday point of view, this here is now forming a little version of that. So if I go into an hourly, you can see there as well. So I don't think anything will happen before tomorrow's Fed rate decision. Just keeping an eye on that gold. Not happy with it. I might get out of that trade. The only thing that could possibly change the shorter term trend is if we see a rally and a breakout above this shaded zone at 104.90, 105, possibly 105.50. So something like this. So rally from here and then a breakout, and then that could trigger possibly another little relief rally and a leg higher towards 106.50, 106.80. But so far this appears to be quite bearish for euro dollar. Most of the people who are looking to trade this are looking to find trading setups with a short setup, so evening star reversal, engulfing, shooting stars, stuff like that around here. Most of them would likely have stops 50 or 100 points higher, depending on how they trade, with a view to take profits lower, so at least 100, 150 points lower, 200 points lower where they got in. So 105 entry, 104, 103.80 take profit with stop at 105.50. A risk to reward ratio kind of makes sense. But that's what euro dollar appears, at least to me, this is quite a significant selling pressure. quite significant selling pressure here. My gold position is not doing well. My gold position is not doing well. I can see that this is becoming uncomfortable for me now. What I'll do is I will likely move my stop loss now. I will likely move my stop loss. And get out, maybe out of this position sooner. So this is a losing position that I did. My stop is down here, about 13 points. So what I'll do is I'll move my stop higher. Closer to these lows, about 6 points, 6 point stop. I don't like the fact that price is attacking these lows here. And I'll leave it running. I'll leave it running. Crude oil, that's doing really well. That's doing really well. Crude oil is doing well. So partial profit taking is done here. The stop was moved initially closer to entry. Now it was at break even. Now stop is above. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to move the stop higher. I'm going to move my stop at 119 $119 per barrel, locking in another 66 points in this trade. 66 points in this trade. I do want to let it run. I do want to let it run and see if I can get a decent spike higher, but I'm happy with taking partial profits. I'm happy with taking partial profits. From the trading psychology point of view, this is important because this feeds my desire to pay myself. So therefore now I'm managing this position from a position of strength. Anything that happens here in my book is an additional profit. So is it here or up there somewhere, it doesn't really matter. It's an additional profit. And I'm managing this risk in the appropriate way. So that's the logic behind that oil trade. Gold, I think I'm gonna get stopped out very soon, and I think I'm going to be stopped out very soon. I'm very close to being stopped out. For Dow, 15 minutes, let me see, 5 minute. Okay, this is the first little reversal here.
Hearing from Korea on Yonhap that Korea truckers are to return to work after an agreement with the government. These truckers in Korea were refusing to ship and truck raw chip materials to key auto plants in Korea at the time, so they're now returning to work.
Oil, you might end up with a break and a retest from above. Yeah, absolutely. It's quite possible. Because that's the previous what Joseph is talking about this. So this becomes a point of control in my book now. So previous high.
Deutsche Bank CEO says it's impossible to live in a zero interest environment for decades.
Whatever this candle finishes, you could see a breakout and then something like this. So resistance, breakout, retest previous resistance, becomes newly found support. There'll be another buying opportunity, I suppose, as well. But yet again, different. You might be trading with different brokers, and you might be trading a different market. Crude oil is traded in futures, and each of the future months or contracts, as they're known, they have a slightly different price because they have a different expiry date. So just make sure that you are looking at the one that your broker is giving you. The price that you're seeing on the screen here might not be relevant for you. Actually, it's quite likely different to what some of you are trading as well. But yeah, so that's a possible outcome. But happy with that trade. Really, really happy with that trade. Really, really happy with that trade. Unlike my speculative gold, which I'm still in. I'm still in that trade, but nursing a loss. There we go. Still underwater, but the stop is much tighter now, so it's a small loss if it happens. Maybe I'm becoming too biased now for gold, and that's not a good thing to do. Yeah, maybe I'm becoming too biased for gold now, rather than reading the price or reacting to the price. So that's where I am with gold. Okay, let me just update as well. So I'm long gold again. Gold at 18, 20, I believe 70. That's where I am at the moment with gold. That's still open, barely. It could be, I don't know, it could be closed before we finish this. But I just thought I'll update you. Dow is pushing a little bit higher. Good. Nasdaq is reversing, so maybe we might get that turnaround Tuesday. So now let me see where that neckline is. And if you remember, so if I show you, this is the neckline that I was paying attention to. Shoulder, head and shoulder, or sideways consolidation. The trend is still bearish, so buying is counter trend here, and it's more speculative. But if it is to happen and we see a push higher and break through this resistance, and then a corrective pullback lower, so breakout, resistance, 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 breakout, retest, potentially, just potentially, we could see a spike towards 31,250, where sellers would return again and look to short sell, which is fine. So that could be tradable. I might decide to do something there. Just realized it's 3 o'clock, guys. We've overrun now. Oh, this was supposed to be very short and quick. I can see quite a few people in the community, so welcome, guys. If you need anything else covered, posted, let me know. I'll be back with you tomorrow at normal time. 2 o'clock. So stay safe, happy trading. Hopefully you found this informative and beneficial in some way. And you're finding it useful. So thank you for watching, thank you for listening. FB, hey FB, thank you. FB, welcome. I don't want to say daily because I might choose not to do something on a specific day, but yeah. 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock UK time. Where are you based, FB? It's really not promoted that well, you know. It's just, I just started doing this because I thought this would be a kind of practical application of what I think people should be able to do. Okay, sorry. Bristol, okay, so yeah. Well guys, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, stay safe, happy trading, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Bye for now. Thanks. Come on, gold.